Hello students. In today's video lecture, we are going to learn about the functions in Python programming. So, myself Prasmita and presenting you this video. So now, what is a function? Function is a self-contained program segment, or you can simply say it is a subprogram, and which carries out some specific and well-defined task. So advantages are you can avoid the repetition of the code. Once you wrote one function, it can be used any number of times. So you can avoid repetition of code. And you can also increase the program readability because everything is separated into simple smaller subprograms. You can read the subprogram easily, what it is doing, what for it is created, that is easy to understand. So you are dividing a very complex problem into simpler ones, and you can reduce the chances of errors so that you can easily identify where the errors are occurring and how to remove them. Once the function is error free, it can be used any number of times and you don't get any kinds of errors. So you can create, modify and debug a program that becomes easy by using the functions. So you can, if you are using functions, it is easy to create, modify and debug a program. And once it is written, it can be executed any number of times. So now, what are the types of functions that we are having in Python are classified into two categories. First one is library function and the next one is user-defined function. Now, what is a library function? Library functions are predefined subprograms by the compiler. So, for example, if you are using input to take the data from the keyboard, you can use input function, which is a predefined function. Print, which is used as an output function, and length is a function to find out the length of a list or a tuple or anything. So evaluation function, like this we are having n number of functions in Python. Now what is a user defined function? So user defined functions are those which are defined by a programmer or the user for a specific task. So functions which are defined by the user at the time of writing a program is called as user defined functions. So these functions are made code reusability, and it will save the time and space of your system. Now for creating the user defined functions, user can follow the two things. First thing is to define a function, and the second thing is to call a function. These two things you should learn to create a user defined function. How to define a function? So we can define the functions to provide the required functionality. That is, first thing, you have to use the keyword def. Def is the keyword which is used to define a function, and it should follow the name of the function, and this name of the function should accept all the rules of identifiers. It should follow all the rules of identifiers, and then it can have a list of parentheses. In a parenthesis, you can provide the list of arguments, which are also called as parameters. Now the statements that form the body of the function starts at the next line and must be indented. Indentation means the spaces before writing a statement. The first statement of the function body can optionally be a string literal. It is an optional. If you can write something, it can be treated as a documentation, and you can call it as a doc string also. Now the code block. So the code block within every function starts with a colon and is indented. That means there must be space before writing it. The statement return. or written with expression, it will exit from a function, optionally passing back an expression to the caller. If you are not providing an expression, it will simply exit a function. A return statement with no arguments is same as return none. Now the syntax is like this. DEF is the keyword. Function name should follow all the identifier rules, and within the parenthesis you can write the parameters. After this function name you should start with a colon, and then here you can have a indentation, means spaces, and this can be an optional which we call it as docstring. And I can write any number of statements here with a proper indentation, and finally you can return an expression, or you can simply write a return statement. If you are writing expression, it will give this value to the calling program. So these parameters are positional behavior. So, and they need to inform in the same order that they were defined. So now the second step is calling a function. How to call a function? Once you have defined a function, only give it a name, specifies the parameters that are to be included in the function, and structures the blocks of the code. And now once the basic structure is finalized, we can execute it by calling the function from another function or directly at the Python prompt. So now define my function. Within this my function you are printing hello from a function. So now you are calling the function by simply specifying the name of the function with empty parenthesis, because it is not taking any parameters. So here also it is empty. Now this function will print the message hello from a function. Now example 2, here we are defining print me function, and it is taking one parameter. So after that there is a colon. Now it is written, which is a string documentation, which says a documentation about this program. So what this program is doing is simply passing the string into this function. Now in this function with indentation we are printing the string value and returning nothing. So now you are calling the function for the first time, print me. I am first called to user defined function. Then this print me will call this function, and print statement will print this string. And then second time you are calling print me function. So second time it is going to print the second statement. So I am first called to user defined function, and again when you are calling the function with print me, it will send this one as a string. When you are printing that, again second call to the same function is printed. Now the execution of a function introduces a new symbol table. This symbol table is used for local variables of that function. Now global variables also will be there and cannot be directly assigned a value within a function, although they may be referenced. You can't directly give the values to the global variables within a function. Now what are actual parameters? Actual parameters to a function call are introduced in the local symbol table. So function call should have some parameters, and those parameters are called actual parameters, and these actual parameters are stored in the local symbol table of the called function when it is called. So these arguments are passed using call by value method. We learned what is call by value method in C language. In simple words, if I say call by value method means the original data will be as it is, and within the function if you do any modification, that is defined only within that function space, but it will not affect the original data. Now when a function calls another function, one more new local table will be created. So here we are declaring a Fibonacci function, and within this function we are declaring A, B variables. A will be containing 0 and B will be containing the value 1. So within this while loop, what I am doing, I'll check a value is less than n. What is n? What are the value I have given here? So as per this function call, 2000 is given here. So 0 is less than 2000. So you are printing 0. Then a contains the value of b and b contains the value of a plus b. So what it is happening here? So actually initially a value is 0 and b value equals to 1. Now you are checking this statement. So as per this one, 0 is less than n. So what we are doing? Printing the value of a, which is 0. Now as per this statement, a value becomes b, which is 1, and b value becomes a plus 1, which is 2. Now you will be checking 1 is less than n. Yes, it is true. So you are printing the value 1. Now again you are taking 2 as a and 2 plus 1 as b. Now you are checking 2 is less than 2000. Yes, so you are printing the value 2 here. Now a value will be b, which is 3. B value will be a plus b. So actually what happened here, b value is 1, b value is a plus 1. A plus b means 0 plus 1, which is 2. So 1 will be printed again. So this way we are going to print all the values of the Fibonacci series until 2000 is reached. This is the logic of the function. So 0, 1, 1, 2, 3, 5, 8, like this it is printing all the values up to 2000. Now if you are calling a function feb of 0, so feb of n is doing this one. Feb of 0, 0 is less than 0, which is wrong. So when you want to print feb of 0, nothing will be printed. So it is possible to define functions with a variable name of or variable number of arguments. In that case, there are 4 types of things that how you can define a function with variable number of arguments. First one is default argument values, second is keyword arguments, third one arbitrary arguments list, and fourth one required arguments. Now what is default argument values? So the default argument value is an argument that assumes a default value if a value is not provided in the function call. So here defining a function, my function, country equals to Norway. So this is the default value for country. So when you are printing I am from country, whatever is available here will be printed. So when you are calling the function with Sweden, this Norway is replaced with Sweden, so it will print I am from Sweden. When you are calling second time with India, it will print I am from India. Third time when you are calling without any argument, that time it will take Norway itself. So it will print I am from Norway. I am from Sweden, I am from India, and for this it will print I am from Norway. Now fourth time I am calling the function my function with a parameter as Brazil. So here it will print I am from Brazil. Now what are keyword arguments? So we use the keyword arguments in a function call. The caller identifies the arguments with their parameter names. So this allows to skip the arguments or place them in the different order, because Python interpreter able to use the keywords provided to match the values with the parameters. See now child 3, child 2, child 1 are the parameters for the function my function. here we are providing the youngest child is child 3. This is the keyword. So first one will be child 3. So if I use the values as Dolly 1, Dolly, Chelly and Bobby, then I am using child 3 and child 3 is having the value Bobby. So it will say youngest child is Bobby. Arbitrary arguments list. If we do not know how many number of arguments that we are going to pass to a function, simply use a star symbol before the parameter name in the function definition. So it will receive a tuple of arguments and can access the items accordingly. So now see this. My function is the name of the function you are defining and you don't know how many number of values you are providing. So I am simply putting a star before the parameter name. So here when I am calling the function, I have provided 4 arguments. What I asked was here kids of 1. So this will be considered as a list of tuple of values. So in the tuple, the first argument contains 0th index, second argument contains first index. So you are trying to access this Janu is the youngest child. Right. So now what are required arguments? Required arguments are the arguments passed to a function in correct positional order. Here the number of arguments in the function call should match exactly with the function definition. So here in the function definition we have provided only one argument. So when you are calling the function printme, you have to provide one string argument. So you are printing that, so it will print hi. The anonymous functions. The next one is anonymous functions. These functions are called anonymous because they are not declared in the standard manner by using the def keyword. What we are using without using def keyword? We can use the lambda keyword to create small anonymous functions. So lambda forms can take any number of arguments but return just one value in the form of an expression. So they cannot contain commands or multiple expressions. An anonymous function cannot be directly called to print because lambda requires an expression. So lambda functions have their own local namespaces and cannot access variables other than those in their parameter list and those in the global namespace. So what is the lambda function? How to create it? Lambda within the square brackets arguments 1, within the square brackets comma argument 2 etc. argument n. You can write any number of arguments and then colon then expression. So here sum is equals to, we are using the lambda function. So here argument 1 comma argument 2 colon, here we are giving the expression argument 1 plus argument 2. So when you are calling sum function with 2 parameters 10 and 20 and you are getting 10 plus 20 is 30. So value of total is 30 for this function. Second time you are calling the function with first argument is 20, argument 2 is 20. So this expression 20 plus 20 is calculated and it will be stored in the sum. So next statement value of total is 40. So this is all for today's class. We will meet with the next topic in the next video. Have a nice time. Stay at home. Stay safe.